Starting with the science section from the quarterly magazine. Now, geothermal energy plant in Arunachal Pradesh. The government is planning to build a geothermal power plant in Arunachal Pradesh. This will be the second thermal power plant in India after Pugga Valley in Ladakh. Edge computing. It is an emerging computing paradigm which refers to a range of networks and devices at or near the user. Edge is about processing data closer to the point of generation, enabling processing at greater speeds and volumes, leading to greater action led results in real time. It allows companies to better manage their physical assets and create new experiences like self driving cars, autonomous robots, etc. Phage therapy, it's a treatment protocol that involves administration of a specific bacteriophage virus to a person suffering from identified bacterial disease. It has been proved successful against a range of disease from bubonic plague to cholera and dysentery. A bacteriophage is a type of virus that infects bacteria. Now, JUICE mission, European Space Agency has launched the Jupiter Icy Moon Explorer, that is JUICE. The spacecraft will reach Jupiter by 2031. The objective of the mission is to make detailed observations of Jupiter and its three large ocean bearing moons, that is Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa. Preparedness and resilience for emerging threat initiative, that is BREATHE initiative by WHO. WHO has launched the Preparedness and Resilience Emerging Threats BREATHE initiative. Its aim is to be better prepared for future outbreaks of a similar scale and devastation as that of COVID-19 pandemic. Tropospheric emissions monitoring and pollutions. TEMPO is a NASA device that can track air pollution over North America from space. A unique feature of TEMPO is that it will be hosted on an Intelsat communication satellite in a geostationary orbit. Existing pollution monitoring satellites are in low Earth orbit, which means they can only provide observations once a day at a fixed time. Now, Singrix vaccine. Vaccine has been introduced in India, aiming to protect against shingles. Shingles results from reactivation of varicella zoster virus (VZV), the same virus responsible for chickenpox. Singrix 6 is a unique vaccine given in two shots that doesn't contain live virus. Now, raccoon stellar malware, a malware that steals data from an infected computer. The malware is usually delivered through emails and is available as a malware as a service. Has recently affected government websites. Now, NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar, that is NISAR satellite. It's a joint project between NASA and ISRO that will develop and launch a dual frequency synthetic aperture radar on Earth observation satellite. NISAR will be used for remote sensing to observe and understand natural processes on Earth. NISAR will map most earthquake prone regions in Himalayas. Now, reusable launch vehicle means a launch vehicle that is designed to return to Earth substantially intact and therefore may be launched more than one time. It may contain stages that may be recovered for future use in an operation of a substantially similar launch vehicle. FLP is there, combined coast phase is there, HS9 separation is there, separate coast phase is there. Then there is the entry phase, that is hypersonic regime, and there is simulation of landing and splashdown and sea. Moving on to 4D printing. 4D relates to advanced version of 3D printing where the fourth dimension is time. The fourth dimension refers to the concept of self-assembly wherein 3D printed objects can reshape or self-assemble itself on the application of external passive energy like heat, gravity, magnetics, or hot water. Now, lumpy skin disease is an infectious disease in cattle caused by a virus of the family Poxviridae, that is Nethaling virus. Mosquito and flies act as a mechanical vector to spread the disease. The outbreak of the disease is associated with high temperatures and high humidity. It is characterized by fever, enlarged superficial lymph nodes, and multiple nodules on the skins and mucous membrane. Morbidity varies between 2 to 45%, and the mortality rate is usually less than 10%. There is no treatment for the virus, so prevention by vaccine is the most effective means of control. Spread of the disease and resultant fall in milk production is one of the reasons for the recent rise in the prices of dairy product. Now, Foucault pendulum is a device to illustrate Earth's rotation. The pendulum consists of a bob suspended at the end of a long, strong wire from a fixed point in the ceiling and is free to swing in any direction. At the poles, the pendulum is aligned with the axis of the Earth. The pendulum's back and forth motions come back to its original plane in exactly 24 hours, that is at the poles. At other latitudes, it takes longer for the pendulum to return to its original orientation of swinging. At the equator, the pendulum is perpendicular to Earth's axis of rotation. Hence, here it never changes the orientation of the swing. Moving on to some long form current material. Now, LEGO project in India, the government has given a go ahead to 2600 crore project for setting up a laser interferometer gravitational wave observatory, that is LEGO, in Hingoli, Maharashtra. Gravitational waves are ripples in space time. They are caused by massive objects moving with extremely high speeds in acceleration. Gravitational waves travel at a speed of light, that is, whatever it is. These waves squeeze and stretch space time in their path as they pass by. Albert Einstein originally predicted the existence of gravitational waves in 1916. Some examples of events that could cause a gravitational wave include explosion of a star, that is supernova, merger of two black holes, etc. Now, LEGO project. LEGO is the world's most powerful observatory that exploits the physical properties of light and of space to detect and understand the origins of gravitational waves. There are two operational LEGO facilities in US, that is in Louisiana and Washington state, one each in Germany, Italy, and Japan. LEGO interferometers are designed to measure a distance of 1 by 10,000th width of a proton, that is order of 10 to the power minus 18 meters. Now, LEGO India will be advanced gravitational wave observatory to be located in Maharashtra, India. It will be built by the Department of Atomic Energy and Department of Science and Technology with the National Science Foundation, the US. Now, LEGO India would be part of international network of gravitational wave observatories. Now, the project is to increase sensitivity of the international gravitational wave network and improve the localization of the source. It will be 4 kilometer into 4 kilometer in length and will be L shaped. And the facilities are required to be 100 to 200 kilometers away from the seas. Now, bending of space time due to massive objects causing the other object to revolve around it. Gravity has been explained as a bending of space time due to mass. Now, Indian Space Policy of 2023. The Union Government has approved the Indian Space Policy of 2023. The aim of the policy is to enhance the role of Department of Space, boost activities of ISRO mission, and give larger participation of research, academia, and startup and industry. The strategic activities related to space sector will be carried out by New Space India Limited, which will be which will work in a demand driven model. Now, in space will be a single window independent nodal agency that functions as an autonomous agency in the Department of Space. It is formed following the space sector reforms to enable and facilitate the participation of private players. It is responsible to promote, enable, authorize, and supervise various space activities of non governmental entities, including building launch vehicles and satellites and providing space based services, sharing space infrastructure and premises under the control of DOS, Department of Space, and ISRO, and establishing a new space infrastructure and facility. The agency act as an interface between ISRO and non-government entities, NGEs, and assess how to utilize India's space resources better and increase space-based activities. Now, looking at the competition that we are having. US number of space assets, they have got 1650. Number of space assets that we have is 80, and number of space assets with China is 450. Now the annual budget in billion dollars, US has 30 billion dollars, China has 14 billion dollars, and India is at 1.7 billion dollars. Now headquarters of in space will be in Ahmedabad, and headquarters of New Space India Limited will be in Bangalore. Now, New Space India Limited will be a central public sector enterprise of the Government of India, established in 2019 under the administrative control of Department of Space. NSIL is a commercial arm of Indian Space Research Organization with the primary responsibility of enabling Indian industries to take up high technology related space related activities. Now, radiation exposure, source of background radiation. Now, a pan India survey by Bhabha Atomic Research Center on background radiation level has been released. Now, background radiation is the level of ionizing radiation present in environment which is not due to deliberate introduction of radiation sources like nuclear power plant, etc. The majority of background radiation occurs naturally from minerals contained in rocks, sands, or mountains. Human body also contains trace amounts of radioactive elements like potassium 40. Now, cosmic rays from space also contribute to background radiation. Prescribed amount of radiation exposure. The International Atomic Energy Agency specifies the public radiation exposure should not be exceeding 1 millisieverts every year. For those with occupational exposure, it should not be 30 million sieverts every year. The IEA also level has been also adopted in India, so we are following the same thing. That is 1 for general public and 30 for occupational exposure. Now, findings of the BARC study. The highest exposure is in Kollam district in Kerala, which is a little more than the exposure of a nuclear power plant workers. The presence of granite, basaltic, and lava volcanic rocks have led to a higher radiation from uranium deposits in southern India. The higher radiation levels in Kollam can be attributed to the moissanite sands that are rich in thorium. Now, sand battery storage medium for renewable energy. Finland has installed a sand battery that can store heat from renewable energy for months. A sand battery is a high temperature thermal energy storage that uses sand or sand like material as its energy storage medium. It stores energy in sand as heat. Sand can be heated up to 600 degrees Celsius. It also has low heat conductivity, which means it reduces the loss of energy. Now, wind and solar power depends on weathers and season, and are variable and intermittent, leading to supply-demand mismatch. The excess energy generated through the renewable resources can be used to heat sand and store the energy. Lack of sustainable storage is the biggest hurdle in adoption of renewable energy. The main purpose of sand battery is to work as a high power, high capacity reservoir for excess wind and solar energy. The heat energy stored in sand can be later on used to heat homes, provide hot steam, and high temperature process heat to industries that are often fossil fuel dependent. Moving on, evergreening. Patent extension of TB drug bedaquiline rejected. Now, Indian Patent Office has rejected Johnson and Johnson's attempt to extend the patent on anti-TB drug bedaquiline in India beyond July 2023. Now, bedaquiline is used in combination with other medicines to treat tuberculosis patients after failure of first line of treatment to kill the bacteria. Bedaquiline is an oral drug which is crucial for tuberculosis treatment. It has less severe side effects than other injectable drugs for treatment of TB. Now, about evergreening, it is a term used in the context of intellectual property rights, that is, patents. It refers to the practice of extending the exclusivity period of a patent by making small incremental modifications or improvements to the original invention. The goal of evergreening is to extend the period of exclusive use during which the original inventor can profit from their invention. Minor improvements are used as basis for extending the patent period. India's patent office has rejected Johnson and Johnson's bid to extend the patent by using section 3D of the Patents Act of 1970. At present, 6 month schedule of bedaquiline cost around $400, which is 33,000 rupees. With the rejection of the patent, the cost is expected to fall by 80%, which means it will be now available at approximately 6,000 for 6 months, which means 1,000 per month. Now, peptide scientists have found peptides derived from snake venom, which holds the promise for preventing and treating neurological disorders like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease. Now, peptides is a short chain of amino acids, typically 2 to 50, linked by chemical bonds, that is peptide bonds. They are smaller version of proteins and contain far fewer amino acids than protein. They have many anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, or muscle building properties. Health and cosmetic products often contain many peptides. Now, peptides, they are short chains. Proteins, they are polymers with a variety of functions. Now, just pause the video and watch this. That'll be best because it's a table and it will be difficult to narrate it. Moving on to quantum technology. Now, the Union government has approved a 6,000 crore for National Quantum Mission. Quantum Mission is an emerging field of physics and engineering which relies on the principles of quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics describes the unique behavior of matter and energy at an atomic and subatomic level, that is 10 to the power minus 10 or less. Now, fundamental units. Classical computing unit uses bits as its fundamental unit of data, that is values of either 0 or 1. Quantum computer uses quantum bits, that is qubits. So qubits can represent 0 and 1 at the same time. Classical computing uses 0 or 1, that is open or shut. Now power increases exponentially. Here power increases linearly. Quantum computers have high error rates and need to be kept ultra cold. Classical computers have low error rates and operate at room temperature. They are well suited for tasks like optimization problems, data analysis, and simulations, whereas classical computing, most everyday processing, is best handled by classical computing. Now, superposition means particle can exist in multiple states, that is 0 or 1 at the same time. Qubits, unlike bits, can represent data as 0, 1 or both 0 and 1 simultaneously. This allows quantum computers to perform complex calculation and solve problems that are infeasible for classical computers. Now, entanglement is a phenomena where two or more particles are inextricably linked and mirror each other exactly, even when they are separated by great physical distance. That is, change in one particle will produce a change in the other entangled particle instantaneously, even far apart. Entanglement allows for faster and more efficient information and processing, as changes in one qubit can stimulus simultaneously affect the entangled qubit. Now, Indian initiatives for quantum technologies, we have the National Quantum Mission, we have the Quest, that is quantum enabled science and technology. Then we have the quantum computer simulation, that is QSIM toolkit. Then we have quantum key distribution. Then we have startups and skill development. Best to read this table. Now, National Policy on Rare Disease 2021. The Union government has given full exemption on basic custom duty for all imported drugs for the treatment of all rare disease listed under the National Policy for Rare Disease 2021. Now, rare disease, there is no single agreed upon definition of rare disease. Diseases are classified as rare based on the prevalence of the disease per 1,000 or 10,000 people. According to WHO, rare diseases are deliberating lifelong diseases with prevalence of 1 or less than 1 per 1,000 population. Nations classify rare disease based on unique populations, healthcare infrastructure, and factors like disease severity, threat to life, availability of alternate treatment options, etc. Now, in US, disease that affect fewer than 2 lakh patients in the US, that is 6.4 in 10,000 people. EU defines disease that affects fewer than 1 in 2,000 people, that is 5 in 10,000 people. Japan defines it as diseases with fewer than 50,000 prevalent cases, that is 0.04% of 4 in 10,000 in the country. Now, according to National Health Portal of Government of India, there may be 7,000 rare diseases. 70% of the rare diseases are genetic in origin. Globally, there are 300 million people, that is 30 crore people living with a rare disease. India has close to 50 to 100 million, that is 5 crore to 10 crore people who are affected by rare disease. About 80% of the patients suffering from rare disease are children. Examples of rare disease include inherited cancers, autoimmune disorders, congenital malformations, Hirschberg's disease, sorry for the pronunciation, Gaucher's disease, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophies, and lyso- lysomal storage disorder, LSD. Now, salient features of the national policy. Now, the aim is to lower the incidence and prevalence of rare disease based on integrated and comprehensive preventive strategies. The strategy includes awareness generation, counseling programs, providing affordable healthcare, etc. Now, rare disease categorized into three groups. The group one is disorder amenable to one time curative treatment. Group two is diseases requiring long time or lifelong treatment with relatively lower cost of treatment and documented benefits. Group three is disease with which definite treatment is available but require lifelong therapy and are costly. Now, there is a provision for government support, voluntary crowdfunding, Center of Excellence, Nidan Kendras, and National Register for Rare Disease. Rashtriya Arogya Niti, about 120 lakh rupees. It is to provide financial support up to 20 lakh rupees under the umbrella scheme of Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi for the treatment of those rare diseases listed under Group 1. Now, about 40% of the population eligible under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana will be eligible for assistance. For Group 2, the state government can consider supporting specific patients. Now, voluntary crowdfunding. Funding. The government will assist in voluntary crowdfunding for the treatment of Group 3. It will be difficult to fully finance the treatment of high cost rare disease of Group 3. Center for Excellence boosts tertiary healthcare facilities for preventing and treating uncommon disease by designating certain premier government tertiary hospitals as centers of excellence. These would receive up to 5 crore for upgrading testing facilities. Nidan Kendras will be set up by Department of Biotechnology under Unique Method of Management and Treatment of Inherited Disorders project for genetic testing and counseling services. These Kendras will be set up for screening, testing, and counseling of rare diseases and also provide treatment if facilities exist. A National Register of Rare Diseases, nationwide hospital based registry of rare disease will be created so that researchers have appropriate data and definitions. Now, auroras in Ladakh, the Indian Institute of Astrophysics has captured a rare occurrence of auroras in Ladakh on camera. This is the first time that such an occurrence has been witnessed in Ladakh. Now, auroras are natural phenomena which is characterized by a display of natural colored light that can be green, red, yellow, or white in the night sky. Auroras are predominantly seen in regions of high latitudes like Arctic and Antarctic. They are called aurora borealis in northern lights in the northern hemisphere and aurora australis, that is southern lights in the southern hemisphere. The cause of auroras, they are caused by sun. The sun emits a lot of charged particles which travels through the space. The charged particles are prevented to enter the Earth's lower atmosphere by the Earth's magnetic field, which diverts them towards the poles due to the peculiar shape of Earth's magnetic field. Now, these particles interact with gases of the atmosphere, resulting in the display of lights in the sky. Oxygen gas gives off green and red light. Nitrogen glows in blue and purple colors. Green and red is due to oxygen, and blue and purple is because of nitrogen. Now, the phenomena of aurora is not limited to Earth. Other planets like Jupiter and Saturn having atmosphere and magnetic field also witness auroras. Now, sodium ion batteries. Scientists are working to develop sodium ion batteries as an alternative to lithium ion batteries. Sodium ion batteries is 20 to 30% cheaper than lithium ion batteries. Large quantities of sodium can be extracted from both Earth's crust and seawater at the lower cost than lithium. Now, SIB uses aluminium current collector unlike LIB, which requires more expensive copper current collectors. So, lithium requires copper, whereas sodium will require only aluminium. SIBs have no over discharge characteristics, which mean they can be allowed to discharge to zero, so no costly battery management systems. SIB will have faster charging time and could have a longer lifespan compared to LIB. SIB has 45% less global warming potential than lithium iron phosphate batteries. SIB have a higher operational safety than LIB, with their operable temperature ranging from minus 30 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius, making their temperature endurance higher than other battery chemistries. Now, they are simple to recycle, and they maintain 90% of their performance at minus 20 degree, unlike lithium ion, and they have no risk of thermal runaway. Energy density is less than what is available with lithium ion, but it is more than what is available for lithium iron phosphate. So it ranges from 70 to 1. So energy, there is low energy density. That is a cause of concern. Now, malaria as a notifiable disease. Malaria is said to be notified disease all over India. At present, it is notifiable disease in 33 states and union territories. Um, a notifiable disease is required by law to be reported to the government authorities. Making a disease legally notifiable by doctors and health professionals allows for intervention to control the spread of highly infectious disease. The onus of notification of any disease and implementation lies with the state government. Any failure to report a notifiable disease is a criminal offense, and the state government can take necessary actions against the defaulter. Bihar, Andaman, and Nicobar Islands, Meghalaya have decided to make malaria a notifiable disease. Now, steps taken against malaria. India has set a vision to be malaria free by 2027 and eliminate the disease by 2030. The Ministry of Health has initiated a joint action plan with the Ministry of Tribal Affairs for elimination of malaria in tribal areas. Now, mitochondrial donation treatment. A baby has been born in UK using a technique called mitochondrial donation treatment, popularly known as parent baby. Now, mitochondrial disease has passed on only by the mother to her child. MDT prevents the passing of a mitochondrial disease from mother to child. Now, about mitochondrial donation treatment. Through an advanced in vitro fertilization technique, the baby's biological father's sperm is used to fertilize the eggs from the biological mother having mitochondrial disease and a third female donor with a clear mitochondrial separately. The nuclear genetic material from the donor's egg is removed and replaced with the genetic material from the biological parent. The final product, that is the egg that has the genetic material from the parents and the mitochondria from the female donor, is implanted in the uterus and carried to full term to yield a baby who will be free from the mother's mitochondrial disease. So the plasma is the genetic material is in the egg. The nucleus is removed, and the nucleus from the mother is implanted over here, and it is fertilized with the sperm. So, one, two, three. Moving on. Sludge as a fertilizer. A new study has found that sludge found in sewage treatment plants has a high potential to be used as fertilizers. Now, sludge is a thick residue found in sewage treatment plants set up to treat polluted waters. They are rich in organic chemicals but are also a repository of heavy metals, industrial effluents, and bacterial contamination. Government initiative to treat sludge, Earth Ganga, meaning economic value from Ganga, aims to monetize and reuse treated wastewater and sludge. This means converting sludge into usable products such as manure and bricks. Now, Kavach. The Balasore train accident has shown importance of train protection systems like Kavach. Kavach is an indigenously developed automatic train protection system for Indian Railways. It is designed to bring a train to halt automatically when it notices another train on the same line within a prescribed distance. Kavach has been developed by Research Design and Standards Organization of the Ministry of Railways. Now, Abaucine, yes. Scientists have used AI to discover a new antibiotic called abaucine, capable of fighting Acinetobacter baumannii superbug. Now, Acinetobacter baumannii is a drug-resistant bacterium that has developed resistance to all available antibiotics. It has been recognized as a red alert human pathogen. It can cause severe infections like pneumonia, meningitis, wound infection leading to fatalities. It is typically found in hospitals. Acinetobacter baumannii can survive on surfaces for a long period, making it difficult to eradicate. Now, about abaucine, it is a compound that has shown useful activity as a narrow spectrum antibiotic. It has been found to be effective against Acinetobacter baumannii. Abaucine has been discovered with the assistance of AI using machine learning model approach, a neural network system with a trained data set of around 7,500 molecules screened for inhibiting Acinetobacter baumannii growth. Now, narrow spectrum antibiotics are active against a selected group of bacterial type. They can act on either gram positive or gram negative, but not on both. Because they target very specific bacteria, they do not cause an increase in bacterial resistance and avoid the spread of drug resistant infection. Now, gram positive and negative bacteria are classified as such based on their response to gram stain test. The test differentiates bacteria by chemical and physical properties of their cell wall. Now, digital public infrastructure. The critical role of DPI was focus of recent G20 meetings. DPI, according to World Economic Forum, DPI refers to digital systems and solutions that enable basic and function essential for public and private service delivery. DPI provides necessary technical and organizational frameworks to ensure that digital services are secure, reliable, and accessible to all citizens. Digital colonialism refers to disproportionate influence enjoyed by big tech companies and developed economies in digital ecosystem. Among the top 10 nations in terms of Facebook users, 9 are developing countries, yet none of the Facebook 15 data centers are located in developing countries as of 2019-20. All the standards protocols related to India digital systems are being dictated by developed countries. India is opposing the digital colonialism. Example, India boycotted the Osaka tracks at G20 summit in Osaka, which is a process for promoting international rule making on trade related aspects of e-commerce at WTO. Now, India stack, it will consider Aadhaar Pay, eKYC, IMPS, UPI, Bharat QR, and Aadhaar enabled payment system. That'll be all for this video. Thank you.